Oh, I forgot. I muted my microphone. That's all I was like. Can you hear me? Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. #moviebae. I am moviebae. And in this video, we are going to be doing a review over The Mole Season 2, episodes 1 through 5. But before we get too into it though, I would like for y'all to drop down and hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Because here on Movie Bae, I do reviews, reactions, and commentary to movies and television. And if that is the type of content you like, you might as well stick around and hit that subscribe button. And if you find yourself enjoying my commentary along the way, don't be afraid to give me a thumbs up and or drop a comment down below. I was trying to go ahead and y'all see my screen? My screen screening? It's a screen screening. Okay, a bit. So yeah, if you're new here, I have all different type of content on my channel, not just the retro stuff. All different type of content on my channel. Reality competition shows, throwback movie reviews. I do a lot of Netflix shows, more specifically competition shows. But I did dabble into the Love is Blind this year, so we'll see where that goes and how that goes. And then of course, since I'm Movie Bae, I do weekly movie roundups of new movies that I have seen. I saw The Quiet Game 2. What? The Quiet Place. The Quiet Place 2 in an immersive experience. Sunday. So I am going to drop a review over that along with 2 movies that I low-key found on Paramount Plus over the weekend that I was just watching stuff. So make sure y'all stay tuned for my weekly roundup when it comes to new movies and television shows. Okay, period. Now, without further ado, what are y'all thoughts thus far on the season? I don't know if y'all have seen season 1. I could have sworn I reviewed season 1 though. Like I real life could have sworn I reviewed season 1, but when I went to look at it because I was gonna repost, my videos, I couldn't find my videos, y'all. I saw the thumbnail in my thumbnail folder, but I didn't find the videos on my YouTube. I don't know what happened. But I reviewed season 1. If you are a Netflix love competition show, that's where Dom came from, season 1 of The Mole. I enjoyed the season. I was wrong about who the mole was. I can admit I was wrong. I thought it was, I don't know his name, y'all, but it's the white dude with the long blonde hair. I thought it was him from like day one, honestly. And I was wrong. I can admit that. But this season, I think I'm right. This season, I think I'm right. And I'm going to share with y'all about like at the end of every episode who I think the mole is and of course why. And when I tell y'all who I think the mole is, I don't want y'all, actually I do want to hear your opinion, but like don't think I'm crazy because I think it's low-key genius. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into what the mole is. So if you don't know what the mole is, basically it's a competition show where it's a group of people. How many people, y'all? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 people. They have to work together to get money. Money for the pot. Okay. But there's one person that is sabotaging the group from getting that money. We don't know who that person is, and they don't know who that person is either. So unlike the traders where we know who the traders are, the mole, we're basically playing the game along with the contestants, which I honestly like. It kind of drives me crazy because sometimes I be wanting to know. I be wanting to be in the know, you know what I'm saying? But I actually do like that aspect of the game. So this season, here are our 12 people that we're working with. We have Deanna. I don't know all their jobs and occupations, y'all. I don't know. I just know Deanna is in like some type of investigative tech stuff. Andy, we got Hannah, Jen, Melissa, Michael. Melissa is a poker player though. Michael, we have Muna, Q, Ryan, who's a volleyball coach, and I know that because I play volleyball, so I know her job. Sean claims he's a stay-at-home husband. Yeah, well, it's so funny because Ryan said she's a stay-at-home wife, and he said he's a stay-at-home husband, and he said, "Yeah, I just mooch off my wife." Ryan said, "Okay." Like, boy, what? No. Then we have Tony, and then we have Niche. Okay, so when the episode first begins, they have to meet in the middle of nowhere. You know, the usual formula, and then the host comes out and tells them what their challenge is. Okay, so I'm not gonna really go moment. Who called me? I'm not really gonna go moment by moment, but I am going to do like an overall review. But episode 1 is always important, is it not? So episode 1, their first challenge is they are in 3 zones, or there are 3 zones, okay? And there are intruders trying to take one of their spots in the house, okay? So they have to nominate somebody to be the leader. And before he knew the stakes, these are my notes, y'all. Niche hopped up and said, I could be a leader. And then we found out that the leader is going to go home, has a possibility of going home. He steps back and he's like, nah, never mind. I don't want to do that. So they had to all agree on a leader or they would lose $10,000. So everybody voted for Niche to be the leader. Okay. So he sets people in particular zones. All right. So in the first zone, let's see. In the first zone, the slingshot zone is Q, Muna, Sean, and Hannah. They miss all the intruders. They don't get no shots, but there's not really a clear person of sabotage. Now, when we get to zone 2, however, zone 2 has Andy, Tony, Michael, and Melissa, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's a woman in there. But they get one person, one of the intruders. However, Andy is really suspicious because every time he says go left, they're turning him to go right. And it's like Michael specifically, because at our big grown age, we don't know left from right. For real? Okay. So in zone 3, it's the last line of defense, and it's Ryan, Jen, Niche, and Deanna. Now, something I did know about Deanna, she said that she is a follower. Okay. I was like, okay, how many people do you know, honestly though, that admits to being a follower? Interesting. I'm not a follower, but I'm also not a leader. I'm like a co-leader. That makes sense. Like, I want to be in charge without all the pressure of being in charge. That's the type of person I am. I ain't even gonna hold you. But to say I'm a follower, to me, that's crazy work. Anyways, but it can't be too many Chiefs. It got to be some Indians. So at the last line of defense, they only get 10 pellets each. Okay. So they do good. They get rid of all the intruders. Ryan with the 1 pellet and the 1 intruder left just pop. Like is she special ops or something? Because she had 1 shot to get the last intruder and makes it. Okay. Now, something about this challenge that was notable to me was Niche. Niche stepped up to be the leader. Okay. Everybody trusts a leader. No, a leader is in a trustworthy role. Okay. And then at the end of the challenge, I got so many notifications going on. Okay. And then at the end of the challenge, Hannah said something in her confessional, and she was like, I think it's funny that Niche is the leader. He's in this vulnerable position and he still doesn't go home. Well, because the mole can't go home. And I was like, you know what, Hannah? You might be onto something, Hannah. You might be onto something. Okay. So now that everybody is all acquainted, it's time to go to the house. They're in a nice, beautiful mansion. They're in Malaysia, by the way. And I'm not even gonna hold you. I didn't know, this is so ignorant of me, that Malaysia has so many different type of I don't know what I'm looking for, like regions. Like they're in these like grassy woods, and then they on the tropical islands, and then they got these fancy hotels and high rise buildings. Malaysia looks nice. Okay, I'm down to go. I used to get my bundles from there all the time. When I wore weave, I used to get my bundles from Malaysia all the time. Okay. Now the social, every episode is a physical challenge, and then I call them social challenges where we really get to test people's morals and values and things like that. So the group had to elect 3 people that they found the most trustworthy. That's this picture down here in the bottom right hand corner for y'all. Okay. They chose Deanna, Tony, kind of by default because Tony got a couple friends on his payroll. And then they have Muna. Okay. Now the host Ari calls them and he gives them a proposition. Well, you can either press 1 to add money to the pot, I believe like $5,000 or something like that to the pot. Or you can press 2 and get a correction on tonight's quiz. Deanna presses 1. Let's get some money. It's the first night. Tony, he presses 1. Let's get some money. It's the first night. Mona, however, is debating because, oh, my family, and we're refugees and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, and I'm going to get the correction. Oh, my damn, it is the first night. What do you need a correction for? You have a 1 in 11, 1 out of 12 chance, I'm not good at math, of somebody else having a worse score than you. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the odds at this early of the game, you really don't need a correction because it's so many other people that could get something wrong. You know what I'm saying? But Muna takes the correction. And at that very moment, we learn a lot about Muna because I'm not one of those people. And I saw her, we saw her interview, but people would look at Muna as someone who's just honorable because she's Muslim and she has she calls it a hijab. I've been calling it a hijab the whole time. So they just look at her as some sweet innocent woman, and then we learn right out the gate that Muna is here to play the game. Muna is here to play the game. And what I see online, people are standing Muna. How do y'all feel about her? How do y'all feel about her? So when Ari comes back, he lets the group know that well, y'all not gonna get any money because at least one person chose the correction. And everybody acting all shocked, Muna included. But one person did call Muna out. Jen called Muna out. And Muna was like, it's not me, girl. It's not me. No, baby girl. It's not me. I was like, this be a lie. Just lying. It's so early in the game. For what? I don't know. People with the early gameplay, I don't know. I guess you got to come out the gate, right? So, but people aren't thinking it's Muna. They're really thinking that it's Tony. Okay, honestly. Now, especially because Tony has a slip of the tongue and he admits that I said no to the money. And what he meant to say was he said no to the correction. So they have to take a quiz that night, and Jen ends up going home on the first night. Jen was honestly giving main character energy. I'm not even going to hold you. She's pretty. She's outgoing. She's athletic, competitive. I really thought that she was going to be around for a while. Great editing. She was the first one to go home. I personally feel like Jen either voted for Muna or Tony because she was really close with Tony, but was surprised when they found out that somebody took the correction, and she realized maybe I can't trust him as much as I thought I could. And then we all know that she openly questioned Muna about if she took the correction. So she definitely either voted for one of those 2 people, and they got her sent home. So when we come to episode 2, don't forget to like the video on your way in, or if you got somewhere to be on your way out, just make sure y'all show the video love, push it in the algorithm, especially because this video kind of late. Not even gonna hold you. So in the next coming competitions, I'm not gonna break them all down. Like I said, episode 1 is just really important, establishing the rules of the game and establishing the characters. Okay. So when it comes to episode 2, what is the challenge though? The right. They have like a treasure hunt game where they're split into groups again. Okay. There's a hunter group, there's a builder group, and there's a swimming group. All right. Now I'm going to talk about this because this is who I think is the mole. Oh, I already told y'all. Niche. I think Niche is the mole. And I ain't even gonna hold you. From episode 1 to 5, in every episode, he does something that is really suspicious to me. Okay. So like in episode 1, like Hannah said, the mole can't go home. So I'm not surprised he didn't go home. All right. And in episode 2, Niche was in a group with Q and Tony, and he's leading them all around these woods, just counting rocks and just going the whole wrong opposite direction. Okay. Which could be an easy way to sabotage because it's the forest and it's easy to get lost. But also, I want to delay as much time as possible. Okay. Now, somebody who also does something sneaky in this particular challenge is Mona. So, and she's on the builder team, and they have to build a raft. However, she opts to cut the raft in half. And they do it. Like, what? But also somebody in that group was Sean, the undercover. Oh, my bad. Sean, the stay-at-home dad. He was also just running his mouth the whole time, saying jokes, not really helping, not even contributing to the group for real. Okay. Another person who was on the swimmer team, Michael. Now, Michael could you're going to start hearing Michael's name a lot. Okay, you're going to start hearing Michael's name a lot because in this particular challenge, he was just swimming along, looking at fish, saying, "Oh, I think I found Dory." I'm like, "Boy, what you supposed to be doing? We supposed to be trying to find a shipwreck, okay? And you on top of the water." So when they finally find a shipwreck, he is sent down to get the container because it's heavy and he's the only man in that group, and then he drops it. Suspicious? You don't think that's suspicious? I think that's suspicious. So after this challenge, I'm not even gonna hold you. I got 3 suspects. I really don't think it's Muna though. I just feel like Muna is like a selfish player more so than the mole. Okay. One thing about this season is the cast sucks. Kind of like The Trust. I did a review over The Trust. Okay. And that was the most annoying cast on a game show I have ever seen. The cast for this show is also a majority of them is also super annoying because they are super selfish. Okay. I'm scanning through my notes right now. Ha. Speaking of being super selfish, at the very end of episode 2, we have another social moral challenge. Okay. So Ari comes in and he says that there's a chance for one person in the group to get an exemption. But for every second, y'all will lose $1 to decide who that one person is. Okay. So in this challenge, you have a handful of people that say, "I'm not moving at all. So I'll let the whole pot go to $0." Mind you, how much money did they have? They started with $45,000. This is probably the part that y'all been seeing online. Because this part made me want to punch somebody in the face. They started with $45,000. But you have these individual people. Hannah, Tony, who y'all see at the bottom right-hand corner, and Muna. Ryan was there for a while, but she left. But those 3 people, Hannah, Tony, and Muna, they said they are willing to drain the entire pot for an exemption. Y'all don't find that suspicious? No, that's fine. But seriously, though, because it's the mole's job to make sure that the group doesn't get any money. And then you have 3 people that are willing to let it go to 0 just so they can get an exemption for the test. All right. So this boils down to just Hannah and Tony. And when I tell you I wanted to punch Hannah in the face, more specifically because Hannah, let me talk to you real quick, Hannah. Hannah and Tony, more specifically Hannah, I don't think she came to this show to play this show. Because first and foremost, they were definitely like, well, I can win the game. And Q was like, you can't win the game if you don't win no money. Or you can win a game, but you ain't gonna win no money. But didn't we come here to win money? No, I came here to win the game. So what are y'all? We obviously got different motives. Y'all must be living that high life. Y'all must got a lot of money where y'all come from or something, because I'm here for money. Shout out to Q. Because what? If y'all wanted to play the game, y'all could have just been sitting at home playing the game. If you wanted to just play the game. But if you want to win some money, then you need to start acting like it and stop being so selfish. Here's what I don't like about Hannah, though, because I feel like she wanted to get on this show as a platform for other shows. She thinks that she's cute. I mean, and she pretty, but she has an inflated sense of self. You might be the hottest girl in Arizona, but I don't know, girl. It ain't given I get whatever I want. I'm just saying. But I feel like she wants to be on Too Hot to Handle or The Perfect Match or something, her and Tony, because that's how they're treating this show, like it's a game show. I mean, like it's a love show or something like that. I don't know how long they've been here, but it's episode 2. Like, it can't have been more than a week and y'all already holding hands and all hugged up and all that. Nah, bro. Nah. So then she basically finesses Tony out of his spot and has him give her the exemption card, essentially. Tony said he did it to build trust with her. And she did it because she's one of those girls whose strategy is to use their looks to get ahead. Like, that's so played out to me. I just think it's so played out. I feel like when you're trying to use your looks to get ahead, that's whack. But if people just gravitate to you, then that's when you do what you do. Naturally, humbly. Okay? Anyways, with these two idiots, the pot drains all the way to how much money they had, y'all. The pot drains all the way to $10,000. Really $9,000 and some change. But the host said, I'll round it up for y'all because I feel bad. Because y'all going to leave here with no money in real life. $10,000 from $48,000 to $10,000. That's crazy. That's crazy if you ask me. Now, the next episode, they have this challenge right here. It's the bottom right-hand corner. They have to be basically jewelry thieves, okay? And they have to announce, like a captain for each team, all right? And the teams are broken into Tony, Hannah, Q, Michael, and Sean. They elect Sean to be the quote-unquote leader. He has to basically scalp a building, and he is terrified of heights. So it takes him a long time to get started, but once he gets started, he is the first person to enter the building. Okay. Q. Well, they get this clue that says you already have everything that you need. So Q started fumbling around in the duffel bag that they had and trying to find which things in here do we need? Can we use? Tony tells him, I'll put that flashlight down. You just mess with that flashlight. You wasting time. But that flashlight ends up being super important because it's really a black light. So where they can see what numbers are on the safe. And then now they need to figure out which numbers around the house match the numbers on the safe. Okay. Long story short, their team ran out of tries and they get zero money for the pot. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And neither is Q, because Q was like, y'all said we was going to get the money back, Hannah, Tony, and we didn't even get the money back. So yeah, all that for nothing. You sitting down for your little exemption, all that for nothing. Oh, did I skip who went home that night? I think I did. Oh yeah, Andy went home that night. Sorry. Now, I did skip that. Andy went home that night and he was suspicious of Michael. Okay, so keep that noted. Anyhow, the next group is Niche, Deanna, Muna, Ryan, and Melissa. Melissa is the one who volunteers to scalp the building. Now, she was going super slow, but Niche is the one that told her to announce every floor you come across. So every floor she went down, she stopped, got the walkie-talkie. Level 23, clear. Put the walkie-talkie back, went down. Level 22, clear. Like she was, because he said to announce every floor that you're on, she was going super, super slow. So I don't know. It's giving mold behavior to me. So their team does end up getting at least $5,000, and they won it off of a coin toss, honestly, because it was either this or that, and they flipped the coin, and they ended up being right. However, they used $5,000 of their half of their 10,000, so $5,000 to look at a clue that Niche really wanted to look at. And then the clue ended up being something that they had already figured out. That's what I thought. I said, don't use that clue because it's going to be something that we've already figured out. And it definitely was. It was telling them to use the flashlight as a black light. That was the first thing that everybody figured out. Right? So, I don't know, y'all. Niche is looking suspicious to me. The next social game, moral game, is called Truth and Lies. It's called Truth and Lies. So the group let me hit my slideshow. We on the next episode now. Make sure y'all like the video. Give me a thumbs up. Drop down in the comment section. Drop down in the chat. Who do y'all think the moles are so far? What were your thoughts over Hannah and Tony draining the pot? Because when I tell y'all, I had to message Grant. I said, our real life, if I was on the show, I would spur somebody and then leave. I would just quit because this is the most selfish group of people I have ever seen. I would have just pop and left because can't deal. I cannot deal. And I shouldn't hit people, but I'm just saying that's how mad they were making me. All right. Truth and Lies is the name of this next challenge. And everybody gets a fortune cookie. And inside that fortune cookie, you either have an amount of money or you have an exemption. And the goal is for you individually, is to walk away with an exemption. But whatever is remaining at the table is what the group gets. So if it's all money, and we know they need the money, because at this point they only have $15,000, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah, because they had 10. He rounded to 10, and they got 5 for nothing. Yeah, they only have $15,000 in their prize pot. So they want everybody at the table to have money so they can add to the pot, right? So they have to weed out who's telling the truth and who is lying. And the people with the exemptions are more likely going to be the ones lying. All right. So there's $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, and then 5 exemptions. So Ryan and Tony both claim that they have the $20,000. Okay. Now, Ryan, the volleyball coach, she is actually the one lying because she has the exemption. And Tony has the $20,000. However, she said that she's going to go against Tony because she knows the group doesn't trust Tony. So maybe they'll vote him off and she'll be remaining at the table. Well, this is when you have to take into account personalities. All right. Yes, Tony is a selfish player. However, Tony is an honest, selfish player. He's going to honestly tell you that I'm about to take this money. He's going to honestly tell you, I'm going to sit here until the clock runs out. He's not a sneaky type person. All right. So the group picks up on that. Ryan is voted off of the table. And I think it was Deanna who is now suspicious of Ryan because she just didn't think that Ryan was capable of lying. Girl, we're human. We're all capable of lying. Okay. Next is the $10,000 group. So it's Sean, Niche, Hannah, and Muna. And they all said that they have the $10,000, but only 2 of those 4 people really have money. All right. So in this exchange, Hannah and Muna are going at it. Hannah thinks Muna has the exemption, and Muna is trying to convince the group that Hannah has the exemption. Something I don't like about Muna, though, y'all, she does this, oh, baby girl, oh, homegirl, oh, boo. Like, she does that. And to me, that's being, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like when you talk down on people. I can't think of what I'm thinking about right now. But I don't like that. Because don't baby girl and boo me. I'm grown. Don't baby girl and boo me. And it's funny because she's trying to convince people. It's like a passive aggressive. Boop, there it goes. Passive aggressive. That ain't what I'm looking for. But that too is being passive aggressive. And don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. But in that moment, they actually vote Muna off. And in that exchange, because she was so passionate and so gung-ho going at Hannah, everybody's looking at Muna like, dang, like I didn't think little old Muna could do that. Interesting. They also vote off Sean because they just say Sean is a bad liar. And they were right. Both of them had exemptions. So now it's down to the $5,000 group. We have Michael, Q, Deanna, and Melissa. Two of them have an exemption. Two of them actually have $5,000. They vote off Melissa. Melissa is a poker player. They are automatically going to think that she's having a poker face. So they vote her off. And they're correct. She had an exemption. Now they have to get one more person out. All right. It's honestly between Deanna and Michael. They don't think it's Q because Q has this medallion that I guess it represents his mom and who's no longer here. And he kisses it up and says, I swear I have $5,000. Niche also puts it on his parents that he has $5,000. All right. So that's why it's between Deanna and Michael. So they actually vote Deanna off, who actually had the money, and Michael is the one that was lying. So, of course, all the people who actually, it depends on how hard they were trying to deceive people, like Muna, and who was actually successful at deceiving people, like Michael, is what got people really, questioning themselves. All right, y'all. We almost done. After the quiz, Melissa is the one to go home. During that challenge, because Melissa was going so slow, I honestly started to think she could be a possible mole, but then I quickly changed my mind when she got eliminated. So right now, as of episode 4, my suspects for moles, Niche, and only because a lot of people are suspicious of Michael, I'm starting to look at Michael a little more. He's not really on my suspect list yet, but I'm considering. Okay, I'm gonna save my other person to the end because I'm gonna drop it all on y'all. Okay. All right. So in episode 4, they have another challenge, more so of a moral type challenge, and they get to spin. They have the option to see one. Oh shit! I dropped my notes. They get to see one person's audition tape for the small fee of $5,000. Everybody except for Q takes the $5,000 or gives the $5,000 to see someone's audition tape. So if you add it up, how many people? It was 8 people. 8 out of 9 people chose to go see their biggest suspect's audition tape. And now $40,000 is gone from the pot. And they only have $20,000 left. It's like every time we make money, the group spends all the money we just made. What is the point of doing these challenges if y'all are just going to spend the money? Or is the point to y'all to get the money so we can spend it? But this cast don't make no sense. This cast makes no sense. So Sean, Tony, and Niche, they all go to see Hannah's tape because they're suspicious of her. They want to see, because all the audition tapes are specific to how would you play the game if you were the mole. So Hannah says she would be playing the dumb blonde. Because of this, I don't think that Hannah is the mole because she's not playing a dumb blonde role. And if she thinks she is, she's doing a bad job. So I don't think Hannah is the mole based off of that video. So Hannah decides she's going to go see. Oh, yeah. And Tony said he wanted to see Hannah's video. Y'all know they think they little boo things or whatever. Because he wants to make sure who he's working with, he can trust. Okay. Hannah sees Michael's video. And Michael claims that it is so easy to lie because he is of the community and he did not come out until he was 22, 23 years old. So he's basically been lying his whole life. So he finds it really easy. So now Hannah knows that aspect about Michael. Deanna, she goes to see Muna, and Muna says that she's going to use her being Muslim to her advantage because people are going to see her as a Muslim woman, that she is a follower. What else did she say? Like mal-mannered, just like real quiet and nice and stuff. She said, but that's not her at all. Okay. So don't forget that Muna's this tape is how would you play if you were the mole? So she's saying she would lean into the Muslim stereotype if she was the mole. Is Muna acting like that, y'all? Is she acting like the stereotypical Muslim. She is not. So either her game plan changed, or she's not the mole. And I don't think she's the mole because I just think she's a selfish player. She's upfront about being a selfish player, honestly. And then according to her audition tape, that ruled Muna out for me. Lastly, Michael, Ryan, and Muna, they all go see Sean, and they find out that Sean is not a stay-at-home dad. He is indeed an undercover cop. So being an undercover cop, you really have to be like a chameleon. You morph into what the group wants you to morph into. So there might be more to Sean than just his dad jokes. Okay. Now Q is the only person who doesn't go to see anyone. I already told y'all that $40,000 is gone and they only have $20,000 left. So the challenge of this episode is they basically have to play a big old game of guess who. And the only thing I'm going to note about this challenge is the fact that, what's that boy name? Sean purposely sabotaged this challenge because he knows that Michael has seen his video because Michael started acting funny. So he wants to make Michael think he's the mole by sabotaging the challenge. And hopefully Michael, gets his quiz wrong and then goes home. Okay. However, what Sean doesn't know is that the picture that he sabotaged early in the game ended up being a really important picture that they needed for the end of the game. But he couldn't just take it out of his pocket and put it back on the board without being too obvious. Okay. Hannah is another person who sabotages this challenge. She tells the back of the house crew the wrong information about the pilot that was at her table or what that pilot had or whatever. And Ryan sees her do this. Now, Hannah says, I think it's important to have some information just for myself. And that doesn't make any damn sense. Why would you need this information to yourself in a group challenge? That doesn't make any sense at all. Do you not want to make money? You know what? I don't know. Hannah could be in plain sight mole, honestly, because that just made no sense. Why do you want to keep information to yourself in a group challenge? Huh? So at the end of the challenge, when they could have gotten $30,000, they only end up getting $10,000 because of Sean's sabotage, accidental sabotage, and Hannah's blatant sabotage. And Ryan sees this. The volleyball coach, she sees Hannah sabotage the group. I don't know why Ryan didn't correct Hannah. Because I would have definitely got on my microphone. I'd be like, she lying. It's the pilot with the It would have. Because what you lying for? We need the money. This quiz. Right before this quiz, Michael tells Sean that he saw his video. And Sean tries to make it seem like he is the mole. So kind of be very vague with his answers to, make Michael, guess the wrong answers. And we also find out that Hannah leads Tony to believe that, yes, Michael is still our primary suspect. So Tony answers all the questions for Michael on his quiz and ends up going home. Hannah threw Tony under the bus because she said, we both can't win this game. It's either going to be me or him. Girl, it's episode 4. How do you sabotage your alliance so early in the game? That's crazy. Poor Tony. Tony, you got played. You got played bad. You got played out of the exemption. You got played out of the game. All because you look at it, bro. Hannah, come on, bro. So easy. Like, it's slight work. It's slight work for real. For a goofball. Woo, were y'all surprised that Hannah set Tony up? I'm not. I'm honestly just surprised though that she set him up so early. So honestly, because Tony, based on the editing, voted for Michael on his quiz, I don't think Michael is the mole anymore. Okay? Because remember, I said I was suspicious of him. But I wasn't 100%. I didn't want to put him on my suspect list. Niche is honestly still on my suspect list. Yeah. All right, y'all. Episode 5. Episode 5, they have a challenge, physical challenge called Special Delivery. And what they had to do is they had to place big crates of money value into 3 trucks. All right. So they had to ask the group, who have y'all been voting for as the mole on your quiz? Because those top 3 people, we're going to put the money values into those 3 people. All right. So they chose Muna. Q admits he's been voting for Muna. And Q's still there. I should probably look at that. I should probably look at this. I should probably look at this show. That episode again. But Q admits, I just remember that Q admits that he's been voting for Moon, and he was very, very, very vocal about it. Some of the groups said they had been voting for Michael, and some of the groups said they were voting for Sean. A lot of people didn't want to tell the truth on who they were voting for, because they could, whoever they were voting for was there, and they could either try to do things, especially if they're not the mole, to make it seem like they're the mole, so that person could go home, so on and so forth. So a lot of people like Michael and Sean, they told a lie about who they were really had been really voting for. So, excuse me, throughout the entire challenge, Michael is trying to get the group, and I think Hannah and maybe Ryan for a little bit was trying to get the group to hedge their bets. Let's put a somewhat fairly equal amount into all of the trucks. That way, even if we're wrong, even if some people are lying, we'll still have a nice amount of money to win at the end of the challenge. However, a lot of people like Niche was like, well, why would we need to do that if everybody's telling the truth? Okay. So they found this doubler case, and that was a whole thing. They were trying to figure out which truck do we put this doubler on? Because whichever truck has this case will double the value. So everybody was so gung-ho that Muna has been Muna. Michael said he's been voting for Muna, which we know is a lie. Ryan said he's been voting for Muna, which we know is a lie. So they put the doubler on Muna's truck, thinking that they're going to get the most bang for their buck. I think it was like $80,000 or something like that. So at the very end of the challenge, the truck that had Michael's name on it came back, and that truck only had $19.5 thousand. So not only did they send the $80,000 truck off because people were lying, but now Michael knows that, oh, people really have been suspecting me to be the mole. Yes, Michael, you've been doing a lot of shady things, Michael. I'm not even going to hold you. You know what? I think I'm going to put Michael on my suspect list. So right now it's Niche, Michael, and then my secret person. All right. Episode 5 goes off with this challenge. If you look at the bottom right-hand side where they're sitting in these desks, episode 5 ends like this. All right. Ari gives them an opportunity. How much money was, I think they had, how much money, y'all? If they had 19,000, I'm trying to do some math real quick. I didn't write this down. 19,000, they got 10, so that's 29,000, $49,000. So they have $49,500. All right. They have to bid on 3 prizes. All right. Everybody going in says, let's stick as a team. Let's not do it. We already know that the last box is going to have the best prize. And then we could talk about that when we get there. So box number 1, nobody votes. Nobody bids any of the group's money, $49,500. Box number 2, I think it was like a correction. Nobody votes. So we still have $49,500. Box number 3 is what they all expected, an exemption. So the group of selfish people, this very selfish group, they decide, hey, let's just, we know that some of y'all are going to vote. This is very important at this point of the game. So let's just make sure we keep it low. Keep it low. Somebody said, what's the highest? And I don't recall anybody saying anything. Because if I was there, I would have been like, the highest, $10,000. If I see anything over 15, I'm sliding, y'all. Can't use violence for everything. But for real, because y'all didn't already play with the money too much. All right. So in this particular challenge, you have someone like Niche saying he's tired of being the nice guy. Nice guys finish last. He's been playing for the group the whole time. So it's his turn to be selfish. So the episode ends with Ari saying what the highest bid was. And guess what the highest bid was, y'all? 49.5. Somebody bet the entire pot, bro. Somebody bet the entire pot. Spent the entire pot for an exemption. That is so crazy to me. That is so crazy to me. Now, when Tony and Hannah were sitting down for the exemption, I said I would have left then. I probably wouldn't have. This would have been the moment when I left. This would have been the moment when I quit. And even Q said, bro, what are we even here playing for? We're back to 0 and we're halfway through the game and we don't have no money. If I'm not mistaken, they had a possible $200,000 or $250,000 to win on this game. Oh my God. Somebody really bid the entire prize pot on one exemption. Who do y'all think made that bid? Obviously, at this point in the game, you would think it would be the mole to do it. But the way these players have been playing, they're all a mole in their own way. Because in my personal opinion, if you're not the mole and you're still a selfish player, I don't care. I want you to leave because you're not helping. You're not helping. Regardless if you're the mole or not, you are not helping, Hannah. Who do y'all think? Honestly, I'm gonna get into. Okay, let me tell y'all. Oh shoot. I think Niche is my first suspect for the mole because of the following. And this is the halfway mark, y'all. I'm done reviewing the episode. But I am going to tell y'all my top 3 suspects and why. Okay. You think Ryan is the mole or you think Ryan drained the pot? So my 3 suspects, I really don't even know who drained the pot. Because you would think that the mole drained the pot. But like I said, like how selfish these players are, who knows? But who I think is the mole, my top 3 suspects in no order. Niche, because I think Niche put himself in a leadership role from day 1. On the second challenge, he put himself in a leadership role. On the third challenge, he tried to put himself in a leadership role. And he still ended up being in the leadership role because I think he was the only guy in that group. And even though he wasn't scalping the building, he definitely had the walkie-talkie and he was dishing out orders and stuff. He says he likes the leadership role so he can watch everybody, but I think he wants a leadership role because a leadership role automatically gains trust. And I think Q said that as well. Q or Tony said that. Leadership role is like an automatic trust. We're never going to suspect you because you're looking like you're here for the group, right? Keep that in mind. Niche also wasn't really in the editing episodes like 2 and 3. He kind of like just started being shown again in 4 and 5. So editing wise, maybe they tried to like play him to the back as to drop some suspicion. And then in episode 5, his comment with "I'm tired of being the nice guy and I need to start playing this game for me" or whatever he said. And I was like, that could be a nice little introductory to maybe he is the mole. If they really want to like start giving us some hints. I don't know. But Niche to me is giving mole. My second person is... Did I say Michael? Michael, because everybody was suspicious of Michael. Okay. And they were suspicious of him when I even wasn't. But I was like, okay, that's true. Because who don't know they left from right? I mean, at our age. Who don't know they left from right? And then just everybody else just saying, Michael. I'm like, let me start watching Michael. And then in his audition tape, he was like, it's so easy to lie. He was believed. He was the only one that people believed at the truth and lies table. Oh, and Tony answered Michael on his quiz, and Tony went home. So that's the only reasons why I think it's Michael. This last one is gonna blow y'all mind. It might not. The last person who I think is a mole is Q. Don't call me names, but I think it's Q because let me tell you, if I was the mole, I would be playing how Q is playing. Honestly, seem like I'm so gong ho for the money, seeming that I'm so here for the team, and I'm gonna just let the group sabotage themselves because with this group, they're going to sabotage themselves. The first challenge, Q had the slingshot. Easy to miss with a slingshot. The second challenge, he could have known that it was a thing hanging up on that tree. He could have. He could have just delayed it. Because I think he didn't even, what's his name? Niche was getting the people off track. Tony brought them back on track, and Q was just kind of like chilling. And the jewelry heist, Q was fumbling with that flashlight, right? Now, it could be because he knew to use it and he wanted to have it so as to stall a lot of time or something like that. Because he was fumbling with the flashlight so long, Tony told him to get that up. Get that up. You're wasting time. Right? Another questionable thing that Q has done, and if I'm wrong, and especially if you see this Q, it's no disrespect, but to have an emblem of someone who has passed on that is near and dear to you, that automatically gives people a reason to trust you. At every elimination with the phone, where's my phone? At every elimination with the phone, he's holding his necklace with his mom, and he prays and kisses it, right? It could be true. It could be true. And like I said, if it is and he's not a mole, it's no disrespect. It's just in my assumption. But if you do things like that, now it's a behavior. He really cares about his mom. If he puts it on his mom, he's telling the truth. Who knows? He could have got that from the gumball machine. But that's how you build trust with people. He did the same thing at the Truth and Lies table. He put it on his mom. Okay. And lastly, the last thing Q did to make him a suspect to me is he didn't go and see any of the audition tapes, because what do I need to see the audition tapes for? What do I need to see the audition tapes for? I'm the mole. I don't care. I know y'all are going to go, and I know y'all are going to spend the money. So, if y'all think I'm crazy about Q, you can put it down in the chat. That's fine. But I think I'm right. I'm gonna read these comments and then I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. All right. Nadia says, I think Ryan is the mole. I think she sabotaged the raft. She didn't tell them to correct details during the waiter challenge. Her face was red as hell when she revealed that the doctor was wrong. I think Ryan was in the water with the raft. I think she was in the water with the raft. And I did mention that as well. Like when she saw Hannah give the incorrect information, why didn't she get on the walkie-talkie and correct it? So that definitely made me suspicious of Ryan as well. Nadia also says, I think she was bothered by Hannah at the table after the challenge when her boo got sent home. I don't know. I thought she had a suspicion that Hannah knew she sabotaged the mission. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. I wanted Ryan to call Hannah out because she was like, why are you upset, Hannah? And I was like, get her, Ryan. Get her, Ryan. I wanted Ryan to call her out at that table. These people ain't ruthless enough for me. You're not ruthless enough for me. Well, with that being said, y'all, I don't think I got anything else left to say. New episodes 6 through 10 come out on Friday. I will be on time for that review. So honestly, like I ain't doing it on Friday. I don't think I'm doing anything on Friday. So I might be on here Saturday or Sunday, like afternoon, honestly, because it's the weekend. I don't think I got nothing to do this weekend. So make sure y'all give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my commentary. Drop down in the comment section below. As of right now, during the halfway mark, who do you think the mole is and why? Also, what were your thoughts on Tony and Hannah draining that pot like that? And of course, who do you think made the 49.5 bid on an exemption? I wouldn't put it past any of them, especially if it's anonymous. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I will see y'all next time. Bye.